action.
Hi, it's Sabrina from Two Non-Yarn Snobs, here for a weekly update of my crafting adventures. Please like, share, comment, do all the things. You can find me on Ravelry as JD's Girl, and you can find Anna as Joey's Rib. Anna is still battling a diabetic ulcer on her foot, so if you're of the praying variety, please do. If not, just send her some good vibes and hope that her foot heals up really soon. So I have a few finished objects, not a lot.
Is that working or you need more light? I got my spotlight.
I think we have plenty of light,
Okay.
but thank you. I have a few finished objects to show you this week. I kind of got my irons and a bunch of fires and didn't finish a whole lot of anything, but that happens to all of us sometimes. So we'll start with finished dishcloths, and I did 2 this week. They are both the same pattern. It is the Super Simple Diamond Dishcloth by Louise Patterson, and I use Lily Sugar and Cream. And the first one I made is this stripey one, because in that bags of yarn that my niece got me, there was just like a little bit of this white. It was enough to do half a dishcloth. And then I used royal blue for the other color. So this ended up costing me 35 cents. It's probably the only one I'll do all year that will be 35 cents, but that's okay. The white cost me nothing, and I bought the blue at regular price, $1.77. So then I made another blue one. This is the royal blue. So now I have 2 that can go in a gift. Same pattern, the Super Simple Diamond Dishcloth by Louise Patterson. And I have another one cast on, because you always need a dishcloth on the go, because they're mindless and you can do just anything with them. Okay, so then I decided to make a cow. Let me put it on. It's nice and snuggly. There's no pattern for this, but I will absolutely tell you how I made this. I cast on 104 stitches. This is a worsted weight yarn. It is a Yarn Bee sleek anti-pilling yarn. And I got the skein of yarn for 99 cents on clearance. And I didn't quite use the whole skein, but I did use one entire color repeat. So I cast on 104 stitches out of this green at the top. This is where I cast on. And I knit 6 rows of 2x2 rib. Excuse me. And then I switched to stockinette. So just knit round and round and round and round. And I knit 6 inches, which got me all the way through the yellow. And then I knew I wanted to end in the green again, so when I got back to the green, I switched to 2x2 rib and did another 6 rows and cast off. And I really like it, and this will probably go in my Christmas box, and someone will get a nice knit cow. Okay, so the other thing that I did this week was I got one of these metal potholder looms. This is the traditional 7-inch size. And I found this on Amazon for $5. So you have to look, because everything that comes up is from Harrisville Designs, which I have a 10-inch Pro loom from them. And it came with enough loops to make 2 potholders, and I have made 2 potholders because I don't want to spend the money to order more loops, because their loops are really pricey. So I decided I wanted to go down to a 7-inch loom where I could pick up loops from someone other than Harrisville Designs. So while I was on looking for this Potholder loom, which is very nostalgic for me. This is the first fiber art that I ever fell in love with. My parents had date night every Saturday, and they went out to eat dinner and to a movie, and we got to go to our grandmother's house, me and my middle sister, and she gave us Potholder looms and loops. I was probably 7 or 8, which Laura would have been like 6 or 5. Anyway, she did not pick up on it, and I fell in love. And I made potholders for everyone in the family, and I made potholders for everyone in the family, and then made even more and sold them, which is crazy. Back then, it was fine, you know, probably in the, 77, 78, I would walk door to door from my grandmother's house and sold them for $0.25 a piece, which is nuts. And my parents were fine with it. And would I let my kid? No, not in a million years. But it was it was just different back then, I guess. And that's okay. So while I was on Amazon, I did order some looms from Harrisville Design, because they're the easiest to find the loops from. And I thought I was getting a lot more than what I got. So this is the first one I made. And this will go in my kitchen for sure. I love these colors. Now that's the one thing I can say about Harrisville Design is they have a ton of colors. They're beautiful, and the loops fit perfectly. But this cost me $5 to make. If you've been around for a while, you know that doesn't set well with me. $5 for one potholder is a lot of money to me. Now, by all means, they have beautiful colors. Their loops are really nice, and if you love them, use them for sure. And I'm not saying that I won't ever buy any again, but it would be a special treat for me. So in the bag there was enough to make 2 potholders, and I do love them. They're beautiful, and this will go into my kitchen because it was $5 to make. So yesterday we drove the 20-30 minutes to the next town over, the next biggest town over, and it has a Hobby Lobby. That is the closest yarn store to me, and there's a local yarn store there too, but she's open by appointment only at this point, as far as I know. If I'm wrong, correct me. Someone let my kitten in here, and he is having a field day, and that's okay. So while we went over there to go to Hobby Lobby and Harbor Freight and whatever. So I ran into Hobby Lobby with the intentions of just getting potholder loops, and I did. And I used my 40% off coupon, and these are wool from the Wool Novelty Company, and I used my 40% off coupon, which made them a pound of them $5.88. And then I weighed this little guy, and it cost me 43 cents to make. I'm super happy with that. Are the colors as vibrant and standoutish as this? No. But the other thing was, in the bag with enough potholder loops to make two potholders, I couldn't really do a pattern because there wasn't enough of any one color. This one I used every color for the warp, and then the weft I used all blue. And there wasn't enough all blue even, so I had to put a purple at the top and a purple at the bottom, which is okay. It looks great. I love it. Don't get me wrong, I love these. Is this realistic for my budget? No. Could I? Yes. Am I going to? No. The colors aren't as vibrant. I agree. And there's not a lot of colors either. It's red, white, blue, green, and yellow. And that's it. Am I going to make beautiful pot holders for Christmas? My idea is 2 pot holders and 3 dishcloths. And that would be a nice Christmas gift. I would be happy with that. 43 cents? Absolutely doable. $5? I can't. I can't. Maybe for special just for me or something, maybe. But honestly, this one even feels thicker than the others. So there's you a review on potholder looms and loops. And I find that this $5 metal, it's metal, $5 metal loom is just as nice as the one from Harrisville Designs. So, there's that. Okay, I only have one other finished object, and we'll talk about it for a couple of minutes. I bought a knitting machine, a circular knitting machine, a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. We still owned our business. I wanted it. My husband got it for me off Amazon, and I did look up the brand name of it, so I will be able to share that with you. I'm not sure that I can pronounce it, but I can share that with you. I suction cupped it to the counter at the shop, and I watched a video, and I cast on, and I was cranking away, and then I had these big runs, like drop stitches, and I cut the yarn and put it in the closet and never touched it again until today. And I was using a Red Heart Super Saver, which is a worsted weight yarn, and I mean, drop stitches are just going to happen no matter who you are or what you're doing, right? But I did not want to fiddle with it enough to try to pick up the stitches, and I was just frustrated, right? Because I wanted it just to work, and it didn't. So a year and a half, 2 years later, I decided to pull it back out. Now, I do not know what we paid for this knitting machine. I did look today on Amazon, and they're right at $70. I don't see me spending that much on it, or I don't see my husband spending that much on it either, but here it is. It looks like a child's toy, right? It's got these cute little flowers on the front of it, and there nowhere on it is there a name. It has suction cups for feet, and I have a plan. Okay, so we have a set of nesting tables that we have never used, like any of them. We bought them at an auction one day. I'm sure we didn't pay much for them. And I asked my husband, I said, do you have a plan to use this nesting table? And he said, no. And I said, I want you to cut a circle out of the middle of it so my knitting can fall down from the knitting machine, and I can put some weights on it, which he made me some weights with clothespins, and he glued something on them to make them heavier. And I want you to screw this knitting machine into the table. So no more suction cups, because that just doesn't work for me, but there's holes there. So he could screw that into the table. Fantastic. So I decided I would start with a lighter weight yarn. So a DK weight, a 3 weight, which I have a pretty good size collection of and don't like to work with it. So what a perfect way. And this is Patrick, my husband, decided he needed to be drawn on. And we think he's fantastic. And the dog's got his chin. Actually, at one point I thought I would probably Mod Podge over him. But you know what? He's just crazy enough to fit in my family. So this is Yarn Bee Fair Isle. This is a different color, but it was sitting right here. I got this on clearance for $1.37. It's a 100-gram skein. And it says just a folded up brim. Patrick is an adult size foam head. And I tried it on land and it fit fine. It's not long enough because this is a very stretchy fabric. And it makes a very stretchy fabric. It's not long enough to be a hat for Jerry. It is reversible. So if you wanted more blue, you could turn it inside out. And then turn this up again. I really like this. And I didn't think I would. That's why it's set for a year. Maybe 2. Don't know. But I think it makes a nice thick hat. And for Christmas knitting or charity knitting, this hat looks fine. It looks fine to me. But I didn't knit it long enough because it was really hard to measure because it hit the table and then came out. That's why I want the hole in the table. And this cost 68 cents to make because I got the yarn on clearance and it was $1.37 and I used 49 grams to make this hat. So right at half the skein because it's a 100-gram skein. And I have a bunch of DK weight yarn that really don't care to use. So machine knit hats for the win. Now we'll see if I keep up with it. So I promised I would tell you what the name of the knitting machine was. Can you see that? See why I'm not going to try to pronounce that? And like I said, I looked today and it's right at $70. Now I saw some knitting machines on there that were much more economical, and I did watch some videos and reviews of different knitting machines before I bought this one, but I don't really, like I said, I don't know that I would have spent $70 on it. 2 years ago, it could have been a lot less. I don't know. Now, I don't have any new mini granny squares this week. The reason being is this did not use a whole skein of yarn, and this hat did not use a whole skein of yarn. It used half, so I plan to make another one of these maybe today. And the leftovers from this, I either want to make a hat or mittens because I have another skein that I could use to go with it. So what do you think? Should it be a knitted hat or mittens to go with a cowl? If you were going to get a gift of a cowl and either hat or mittens, which would you like to have? That's my question for this week. Let me know down in the comments, and whatever wins out, that's what I will cast on. As far as works in progress, which I didn't even talk about last week, I don't have a lot. I know, that is super, super, super surprising, right? I have a pair of socks on the needles, and I have a big queen size corner to corner Afghan that I'm working on in shades of gray. I'm over halfway I'm over the halfway point, so I'm doing the decreases now, and I will gladly show that to you when I'm done, because it's a monster, and I'd be like, whoa, and you wouldn't be able to really see anything anyway. So this is the pair of socks that I have cast on, and this is for Landon. I was hoping to have a finished sock today. No. So, in my head, I'm like, I could finish a pair of socks every month, and then we would all get 4 new pairs of socks for the year. But there's so many shiny things, who knows, right? I love these colors, and I really wanted to keep this sock for myself. I offered it to Jerry first, and this is just a little too bright for him because he's a manly man, and you know, blues and browns and grays and blacks and boring. That's okay. That's him. So I'm using a mini skein for the cuff and toe. I did not switch it to do the heel. I am past the heel flap. Oh, he climbed up in my lap. I'm glad I have jeans on. You want to say hi? Say hi. Say hi. So I'm on the foot. So now it's just zoom down the foot and put a toe in it. Landon and I wear the same size sock. So I'm not growing anymore. He is, and I will inherit these. So I'm super happy about that. Now let me tell you who the maker was. This maker, I don't think her yarn is available any longer. I got this when Anna and I went and did the Arkansas yarn crawl. It is Kim Marie's Knit Knacks, and the variegated color is Fuji. Look at that. It's just gorgeousness. She definitely had a talent for dyeing yarn. And then the little green mini I got to go with it is Emerald. It is beautiful. And the kitten doesn't want to leave me alone. And that's all I have a sweater on the needles that I haven't touched in months. And maybe it needs to get some love this week. That sounds like a pretty good plan. So that's all I have this week. Thanks for coming and sitting down and letting me visit with you. Hope everyone out there is staying healthy and safe. Wear your mask. That's all we can do. And keep your needles clicking, guys. Thanks for coming. Bye.